Hey, guys, we're here at the Red Carpet Rain. We still going to talk about NXT Battleground. We are talking about the go home show before NXT Battleground, which will be a busy weekend alongside Saturday night's main event. Let's check out more at the Red Carpet Rain.
If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Acknowledge us.
Hey, guys, we're here at the Red Carpet Rain. We'll talk about NXT Go Home Show before Battleground. Let's get the likes as we come into the ring. We're going to talk about this recent episode of NXT. We're going to go over what happened, go over the grading, and then go over what's going to happen at Battleground, the matches that are set. Now, displayed here is the match card for NXT. We had plenty of stuff going on. We had a few matches, few segments. They're really gearing up the band here of the NXT roster, getting ready for Battleground and other things of such. We got a few championship matches that's going to be at the Battleground show. Anywho, let's get on to the first match of the show. Now, Ricky Starks, the NXT North American champion, was alongside commentary. He was commentating along who will be his new number one contender for the NXT North American Championship. We had Javon Evans, Super Shawn Legacy from Evolve, and also we had Adonis, Ashante the Adonis. But at the end of that match, great opener. We had Super Shawn Legacy pin Ashante the Adonis to go on to become the new number one contender for the North American Championship. He will be challenging Ricky Starks for that championship. This is like the biggest moment of Super Shawn Legacy's career. Great match. All men showed out. Javon Evans, the MVP of that match. Now, we had here Big Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. Trick Williams had his rap battle contest, his performance. Nothing great to say the least. I was not feeling this rap segment. I thought it was pure trash. But anyway, he came out. He kept calling Joe. All he said was, "You're average Joe, you're average Joe." Was not feeling too much. However, Joe Hendry responded later that night. He had a concert. He was mocking Trick Williams when he was a part of Trick Mello Gang. How he was, a segment with Halloween Havoc, and they made a fun where Joe Hendry would be the one scaring Trick Williams. Trick Williams later came out saying that's old news. Don't bring up the old stuff. This is Trick Williams today. And then they came out and brawl. But Trick Williams, I'm not really invested in this character, Trick Williams. It seems real repetitive. I like Trick Williams. He has the heel look. But I'm just not buying to this whole character right now. I'm just not. Now, afterwards, these two will brawl, go back and forth. Trick Williams attacking Joe. Now, Trick will go for the trick shot. However, Joe Hendry will counter that by grabbing his guitar and hitting Trick Williams' leg. Then he will hit him with a standing ovation. At the end of the day, we saw Joe Hendry standing tall over Trick Williams. So this is going to set up for their match at NXT Battleground for the TNA World Championship. But segment ended well. Anywho, we had Miles Bourne, the number one contender for the NXT Championship. He came out and he cut his segment. Very good segment between himself and Obafemi. Obafemi, he laid it down. He said, "This is not a Disney movie, Miles." He said, "Miles, you did the unthinkable. You became the number one contender." Great. Oba gave him his props, but it's not a Disney movie. There will be no happy ending. You won't defeat Obafemi. So that was good. Now, we had another match. We had Lola Vice. She went one-on-one against Fatal Influence's Fallon Henley. Now, it was a good back and forth here. It wasn't the best match of the night, but we can see a story is still developing. There's still JC Jane that was alongside her and Fallon are still at odds. They're not seeing eye to eye. And if you guys know with Fatal Influence, there's no Jasmine Nix. I don't know if she, they're writing that in the story to bring up the whole Fatal Influence. It used to be 3 of them, now it's 2. So we've been saying that for the past several weeks. Anyway, Lola Vice defeated Fallon Henley due to distraction, and it just Fallon and JC are now on the same page, and Lola looks strong in her win. But it wasn't too much there to talk about NXT. I'll go over what I liked, what I didn't like about the show or this episode. like I said, it's good for NXT Battleground. They're getting everything going, but we're going to go on and break it down of what happened. Now, I'll go over first, as I do usually. I'll go over what I did not like about this particular episode. I'll go over what was the issue I saw with NXT Battleground. One thing that's bothering me, maybe actually a couple things, but let's get on to the first thing. If not, maybe it's the only thing, but we'll see what I did not like about it. First thing I'm going to go over and talk about first. I'm not going to like this, but soon we're going to see a split of Zaria and Soruka, or Zaruka, as they called. I wasn't a big fan of these two teaming up at first, but they kind of grew on me. And that's normally how it goes. As soon as you start liking a tag team, when they paired up, you could tell that there's going to be cracks in the foundation. They're soon going to split because Zaria lost her match against Kelani Jordan this week. And Soruka's going to face Kelani. Zaria going to turn on Soruka. We just see it coming. Another thing I don't like, this whole Thea Hill, Tatum Paxley, Tatum losing, her being, losing Shotzi and Gigi Dolan. Not a big fan of this storyline. Tatum Paxley, I think she's reached her peak for her character, for the dark character that she be doing. Thea Hill, I don't know what they doing with her, but I'm not feeling this at all. Those two, no. However, it is something I did like about this week's episode of NXT. There are some stories that are developing. There are some things that's starting to brew. Now, it could come to fruition around Battleground or maybe after Battleground shortly, because we know after Battleground we're pretty much going to have Heat Wave and maybe 1 or 2 other TV specials. But I will say I like how developing the soon breakable to stable Fatal Influence. Now, Fatal Influence, they was on Dominant at first. Fallon Henley won the NXT Women's Champion, North American Women's Championship. Ever since she lost it, we've been seeing this whole stable just going at odds, back and forth, back and forth. But I like the story, though. They're still developing something. Another thing I do like Miles Bourne being a challenger for Obafemi's title, because Miles, the way he's been looking, he could possibly have an upset. I'm not saying it's going to be an upset, possibly a believable contender. So this is a good story here. And also we saw the debut of Jasper Troy attack Obafemi after the segment between him and Miles Bourne. But looking good, though. Now, speaking of Battleground, we got a few matches here. We got the NXT Men's Championship, NXT Women's Championship. We do have TNA World Championship. We got the Tony D'Angelo versus Stacks. And we got a few other matches, Kelani versus Soruka. And, of course, Ricky Starks. If that's not going to be a Battleground, it may be the NXT after. But, Ricky Starks going to defend that against Ethan Page. But this is a good card. I will do a prediction video on this. But other than that, though, guys, that's really all I have for WWE NXT Go Home Show before Battleground. You guys let me know what you think of this recent episode of Battleground. Definitely good. And also my rating on the show, I will give it a 4 out of 5. But other than that, you already know what it is at this point. It's OUT.